$21.7 billion. That is what ExxonMobil is now prepared to spend chasing oil off the coast of a Caribbean island most people only know for carnival and steel pan music. $21.7 billion in a country whose entire economy is worth roughly $28 billion. Think about that ratio for a second. This is not a company dipping a toe into a small market. This is the most successful deep-water operator on the planet, placing a bet that is nearly the size of Trinidad and Tobago's entire national output on a stretch of ocean floor nobody has ever drilled before. And it is not just Exxon. In the space of 18 months, a Houston company has hit oil where geologists swore only gas would ever be found. A British supermajor has flipped the switch on a brand new offshore platform. The government has thrown open the largest exploration bidding round in the country's history. And a nation that watched its oil industry collapse for 30 straight years is suddenly being talked about, quietly, carefully, by people inside the energy industry as the most interesting frontier play left in the Western Hemisphere. Here is the question we are going to answer today. Is this real? Is Trinidad actually on the verge of a second oil age, one that could rival what happened next door in Guyana? Or is this another chapter in a long Caribbean story of promises that get made and never get kept? By the time this is over, you will know exactly where the money is going, exactly why it is going there right now, and exactly what it means for the millions of people across this region whose lives are tied to what happens in these waters. Some of what you are about to hear will genuinely surprise you. If this is the kind of story you want more of, the kind that skips the headlines and gets into the why, do one thing for me before we go further. Hit subscribe. This channel is small right now. We are building toward 10,000 subscribers, and every single one of you who joins makes a real difference in whether stories like this keep getting told properly. Thank you. Now let's get into it. To understand $21.7 billion. That is what ExxonMobil is now prepared to spend chasing oil off the coast of a Caribbean island most people only know for carnival and steel pan music. $21.7 billion in a country whose entire economy is worth roughly $28 billion. Think about that ratio for a second. This is not a company dipping a toe into a small market. This is the most successful deep-water operator on the planet, placing a bet that is nearly the size of Trinidad and Tobago's entire national output on a stretch of ocean floor nobody has ever drilled before. And it is not just Exxon. In the space of 18 months, a Houston company has hit oil where geologists swore only gas would ever be found. A British supermajor has flipped the switch on a brand new offshore platform. The government has thrown open the largest exploration bidding round in the country's history. And a nation that watched its oil industry collapse for 30 straight years is suddenly being talked about, quietly, carefully, by people inside the energy industry as the most interesting frontier play left in the Western Hemisphere. Here is the question we are going to answer today. Is this real? Is $21.7 billion. That is what ExxonMobil is now prepared to spend chasing oil off the coast of a Caribbean island most people only know for carnival and steel pan music. $21.7 billion in a country whose entire economy is worth roughly $28 billion. Think about that ratio for a second. This is not a company dipping a toe into a small market. This is the most successful deep-water operator on the planet, placing a bet that is nearly the size of Trinidad and Tobago's entire national output on a stretch of ocean floor nobody has ever drilled before. And it is not just Exxon. In the space of 18 months, a Houston company has hit oil where geologists swore only gas would ever be found. A British supermajor has flipped the switch on a brand new offshore platform. The government has thrown open the largest exploration bidding round in the country's history. And a nation that watched its oil industry collapse for 30 straight years is suddenly being talked about, quietly, carefully, by people inside the energy industry as the most interesting frontier play left in the Western Hemisphere. Here is the question we are going to answer today. Is this real? Is Trinidad actually on the verge of a second oil age, one that could rival what happened next door in Guyana? $21.7 billion. That is what ExxonMobil is now prepared to spend chasing oil off the coast of a Caribbean island most people only know for carnival and steel pan music. $21.7 billion in a country whose entire economy is worth roughly $28 billion. Think about that ratio for a second. This is not a company dipping a toe into a small market. This is the most successful deep water operator on the planet, placing a bet that is nearly the size of Trinidad and Tobago's entire national output on a stretch of ocean floor nobody has ever drilled before. And it is not just Exxon. In the space of 18 months, a Houston company has hit oil where geologists swore only gas would ever be found. A British supermajor has flipped the switch on a brand new offshore platform. The government has thrown open the largest exploration bidding round in the country's history. And a nation that watched its oil industry collapse for 30 straight years is suddenly being talked about, quietly, carefully, by people inside the energy industry as the most interesting frontier play left in the Western Hemisphere. Here is the question we are going to answer today. Is this real? Is Trinidad actually on the verge of a second oil age, one that could rival what happened next door in Guyana? Or is this another chapter in a long Caribbean story of promises that get made and never get kept? By the time this is over, you will know exactly where the money is going, exactly why it is going there right now, and exactly what it means for the millions of people across this region whose lives...
Pleasant good night, of course, to all and sundry, East, West, North, South, Central, in Trinidad, or friends in Tobago, and wherever you are streaming on the World Wide Web. A pleasant good day to you. I thought I should, of course, share that which we shared last Thursday, because I think it is tremendous. It is tremendous from the point of view. I don't know if it is, you know, there is a saying, and we were saying it before, that who the gods wish to destroy, the first and them mad. But who God bless, no one curses. You know what I say? I say who God bless, no one curse. And what we are seeing last week, of course, I did share with you this video of tremendous development in the oil and gas sector, and of course the petrochemical and other downstream developments that are taking place, inclusive of the iron producing factory that was mothballed several, should I say, years ago. And today, as if fate will have it, as if by sheer serendipity, or be more specific, divine intervention, because we didn't know when we played that video last week that the Deputy Secretary of State will come to Trinidad today. Yes, today. And he literally pushed open the gate of the mothball iron and steel factory in Point Lisas today. And he came not as some people would want you to believe, cap in hand, to exploit us. No. He came with goodies. And to confirm Exxon, to confirm BP, to confirm that company that BP absorbed and all of the assets in terms of the acreage that was given to them. I'm talking about Woodright. All of that transpired only today. Only today, people. If I have to provide you with a video, I'll have to switch the system. I don't want to switch. I want to talk. We're going to go until, of course, 9:30 tonight, because there are other developments that are taking place that you would be very, very, very pleased about. But I think this is the biggest news that we can engage in at this point in time. And so, last week, whilst we were sharing with you some of the developments, today we had the confirmation of these developments. Steel mill is to be reopened. We ain't talk yet about the what? The oil refinery. But we know about cross-border gas between Venezuela and Trinidad to take place. Because from here, the Deputy Secretary of State of the United States goes to Guyana. But Guyana is not as significant to us in terms of cross-border resources as Venezuela. And I expect that whilst he is in this part of the hemisphere, the southern part of the Caribbean. And whilst he is on the South American continent, because Guyana, even though it has a commercial, cultural, and historic in terms of our joint or twin, what I consider to be heritage, colonial past, in other words, he will not miss, even though we were not told, but he would miss going to Venezuela to tie up those deals as far as the cross-border deals are concerned. And I see that ExxonMobil, when they were broached to say so far what the survey has produced, I noticed that they are keeping their cards close to their chest. I suspect, people, that we are sitting on a fine, if not equal to, but very close to that which was found in Guyana. Because as you know, last week we talked about the same geographic construct, the same geological construct where oil was found in Guyana. That is where Exxon is interested in at this point in time. And as we were told last week, because we have all the infrastructure to facilitate both gas and oil, we know for sure that push come to shove, we will surpass Guyana, or at least be very, very, very productive in terms of where we are going with our resources. But let's go to the line. President, good night. Welcome.
Good night, Lennox. This is Diego Martin.
Yes, man. Good night to you, man.
I'm the opening bowler tonight, I believe.
Yes, you are. You are.
Right. So, to all the listeners, the co-host there, COP, when he comes in.
No, he won't be coming in tonight. He had a phonetic day, but he had some good news as well. So probably he is both enjoying as well as resting. But go ahead.
All right. Let me start with the first thing, clapping back at the lollipop man, the lollipop senator, the lollipop PNM senator. I hear he make a complaint about our Prime Minister to the EOC, Equal Opportunity Commission, another lollipop organization. And the PM dismissed both of those entities. And here is why we have to stick it on the chest. Remember that EOC has not resolved the discriminatory action the EOC took upon Vera Bagan. Mm-hmm. You remember how much taxpayers' money we went to court just to not employ her when the president made a decision? So that is why that organization, nobody has respect for it. And that is why the KPB2 dismissed them. The other thing is, our Prime Minister has vision, and she has a positive karma, You see what has happened to the CCJ? So any decision coming out of that CCJ will be tarnished. You understand? And the Barnett issue as the Secretary General can't go before the CCJ now because Anderson is there and they say he's a dictatorship. Imagine Limo. You know Limo?
Yes, of course. Former Attorney General, who right. Of course has been given the appellation or the nickname Limo. Right. When of course it ought to be Amor. But go ahead.
Right. Yeah, but listen to this. He I don't know if he still is an appeal court in Eastern Caribbean. Imagine he being elevated to CCJ. What kind of court we will have? Because all of those appeal court judges and judges within CARICOM want to go to the CCJ, the final appellate court for a couple of countries. So imagine that. And I always tell everybody, anything KPB2 touches turn to gold. Everything KCR touches turn to the S word. And I don't want to be derogatory and be offensive on your program.
Yeah, but I mean, on this program, you could use the term shit.
Okay, you go ahead.
But go ahead.
Go ahead. All right. In 2019, you remember he had a press conference saying he has been speaking with local investors who wants to invest in the Acelo metal plant for a partial reopening.
Yes.
Where has that investment gone? You know, somebody whispered to me and tell me where the investment gone. They say where he wanted to put the peanuts is gone right there in his own. I go, have a nice evening.
I hear you, my friend. I hear you, my friend.
I go.
Nice. But I'm sure people are very interested in some of the indirect references of the last caller. But we have to go to the line. We give way to the line. President, good night. Welcome.
Good night, transformation, corridor transformation.
Yes, corridor transformation, yes.
Lennox, you know why I watch it, boy?
Go ahead.
All this niceness and thing on the horizon for the country.
Right.
Where these PNM, they don't like this country.
Boy,
the good thing like this.
These people are Satan personified.
Boy, they have to be Satan because watch me. But Lennox, them will be benefiting too, you know.
Of course, and they know it too. But yet still,
so why ain't here not even a pronouncement of, oh gosh, well, something good coming? What evil kind of people is it, boy? Better we split Trinidad in half.
And when they do make pronouncements, is for self-gratification. Like, take for instance, Gonzalez saying to all members of the PNM and all sympathizers, don't engage pong for pong with any racial baiting and so on and so forth. That time, really and truly, the damage was already done, and he realized that kind of propaganda no longer will have traction. So he tried to salvage some kind of dignity from the whole process.
But
in other words, damage control. But
all this niceness, all this nice thing on the horizon for the country, and these people and them disgruntled, boy. Boy, better we put them in a special hole somewhere. Something had to be wrong, boy. There ain't no true Trini, boy.
Yeah, we have to take away the basis for them being able to make these statements. That is, take away their constituencies from them.
Yeah, boy.
They simply do not
the moral of the story, you know what the moral of the story?
Tell me.
PNM is not stay out of power. It's a stay out of power for this country for a very, very long time, you know, until they come to senses, you know. I can't see them coming back and power and destroy all this good thing I see on the horizon there, you know. They need to be out of power for a long time.
Well said.
Good program. Have a good night, Lennox.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And as I was saying, and the caller just confirmed it, that the Lord moves in mysterious ways, his wonders to perform. 10 years ago, thereabout, we were saying on this program that unfair games must be played over. And of course, Kamla Prasad Bisesa at the UNC, it did get a raw deal from the PNM, and it started, of course, with propaganda of a type that really and truly was unique at the time. Nobody believed that a big man like Rowley could lie so much. That's the point I am making. Nobody could have believed that this Chinese background fella, Xiao Chong, could have lied so much. But let's go to the line. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
A pleasant good night to you, Uncle Lennox, all the listeners, and all in Sundry, East, West, North, and South, and even on the East-West corridor too, and all the PNM supporters who stay with the PNM. I'm glad for all you, but I am sorry for all you, because here what's going on, as Uncle Lennox used to say, a brutal tonight. Mr. Diego Martin, the name he was looking for is Jindal. Yeah, the big one who was in Venezuela. He come to sign. He put in a bid after the bid runs closed for
No,
the refinery.
I don't think it's Jindal. Jindal was with respect to the oil refinery, but he was referring to the
steel mill.
The steel mill. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Jindal wanted the steel mill too.
They wanted that too. Okay, I was aware. Okay, all right.
Yeah. No, okay, I stand to be corrected because when Jindal came, right, it was the first mischief is when we get to know that after the bid for the refinery and was given the union trouble.
The Nigerian firm was being touted as the preferred firm, but when the background checks, the due diligence was done, it shows that that firm was really owing and have been brought before several statutory entities responsible for integrity and transparency. And then Jindal came in, was of course regaled at the diplomatic center, and then the announcement was made that he was here for the oil refinery in terms of that, and then of course all hell break loose after that. But I wasn't aware that he was interested in the steel mill. But go ahead.
So it was not Jindal, it was the next one who the Americans take up for the corruption.
Okay.
Giovanni Owainem? Yeah.
All right.
Because he thought that would come.
Yeah.
And what was it, I think?
Yeah. But you're in the right place. Go ahead.
Yeah, so now, and I want the listeners to know that the gate at Ispat is being open today.
Been thrown open today, yes, by Deputy Secretary of State for the United States. Go ahead.
And when they say the Deputy Secretary of State, that means that when they sign that deal and the agreement is not an agreement, it's a deal they sign to invest, that means that the business people, the Prime Minister, that anyhow they take it or if they take a cent more than what they agree for or corrupt practices and they get catch, everybody will go and spend more than a month, like how Rowley spent a month and say he was taking medical treatment. So the government of the United States took a businessman. So it had no deal in that one. So I want to tell Avery Brown tonight on your show, right? That is how a foreign affairs minister supposed to talk and go and talk. So I remind all you, the PNM stooges, the stooges are talking to tonight who just listen to this program. I want to call the wrong report and change the narrative. I want to tell all you, when all you want to know, where the Prime Minister, why she said this one and that one, she had the ministers and them appointed to do business. She don't have to go like Rowley to go in the diplomatic office and the ballroom of big corporation and say that here we're going on. I'll take $100,000 as the social delivery for the energy sector, what I'm bringing it in, and end that code shell, right? So here we're going on. I want all you to know, all the PNF stooge, that is why Penny now coming with race, athletic, and cricket. Because here we're going on. They don't know what other sports to play, but they try to run the human race, and the narrative are divided. But you see, the right-thinking PNL supporters who run away from the plantation and join the United National Congress and come to the House of the Rising Sun, have plenty room and plenty love. And it will be just a matter of time that the equity will show to the citizen. Because here we're going on. So far for the last year and 3 months, you're hearing a calling names tonight. You hear that Stuart Little Young, it's Richard Young, right? Had a little bank, a corner bank, and it go to $5 billion. Then you hear that Marvin Gonzalez do a contract for $3 million and go to $36 million. Then you hear Foster Goen, who coming around the tongue, short drop. His wife, his daughter, when they check it on the finance and the contract at HGC, is $500 million. He family collect. Then they expose Penny and say how much she mother, father, sister, brother, auntie, and she grandma gives she in contract they get from the state. But we hear that the next one collects some money and all too. And you hear that Sidanan or Rohan Sidanan, how much contract when it was given, this white truck was paint, pure white with no name on it. Everybody said that billions of dollars directed preferable treatment. Then we forget again that you see, if we brought them fellas, they do the due diligence. Rowley was doing it. He tried to shut down the energy sector. But everybody is afraid. Anytime you want to take a drive from Port of Spain, try driving straight down the highway, non-stop. Then you have to stop by the traffic light. And when they pass the mosquito cremation site, because all of them see the crack again, and when all come down now and pass the roundabout, and as all them lifting the ramp to go Point 14, watch to the right, and all them see a company which started off for much years that the PNM built $1 billion company now with state asset, giving them the acreage a petrol asset. So which means they take the state asset, enriching itself and giving back the state a little bit. So you see, the nice growth how PNM style. And the nice one and all too, Rowley had to answer for 22 times $1 billion into budget when he closed down the country for 2 years. But all year, we are going there now. I just wanted to, as Uncle Lennox was saying, as long as the PNM can show the deed and the paper for Eric Williams to say that Trinidad is demoed, because the PNM acted now like Trinidad is really demoed, because all the corporation they own making mischief, they taking up rubbish. One lost $60,000, then he say he doing rubbish truck, and they give a contractor. The next one say he had no money paid out. But telling the people, making press conference and saying that when they damage the grass or the savanna, the people in the area will be affected. Uncle Lennox, I didn't know people in Port of Spain eating grass, So help me go on all in Central Cascade, all my Chancellor Hill. I didn't know people was eating grass, because when they put the new site for the independence, if the grass damage, people will be affected. I didn't know that, they eating grass. But as Uncle Lennox say, when they can show the blasted deed that Eric Williams leave it for them to say Trinidad is the one, then they can say that. But you see, all that smoke screen, all that racial slur, the energy sector is spat after 10 years Paris and Stuarty, honestly, all the fight for the workers. Where their pension plan gone by, the $1.2 billion in pension for Arsenal Vital and Ispat workers coming up the road, all of them who work and the pension plan. Where the money gone by, who ordered it? Who? Because all they want to recognize the union, or they want to recognize all kind of technicality and pay the workers out of the money. But I want to tell the union president, if all they want representation, I think, send in a resume, not a resignation, send in a resume and apply to the new steel company. It named the IBIS, steel mill, ironworks. So, all I can say, I'm taking it. So, the nice thing about it, we get that up and going, and that is legitimate. When we come later on out here, that this won't happen, we do it out of the procurement legislation. And that's only one project. We get the United States. So Camille, you see what the hell the US can do for me? And they see what they do it for all them. So all that account for what all them is shift. But now, the gas in the coca vanity, waste Stuarty, how are you going, man? I'm here to take away a diplomatic passport. So here what's going on. I want to ask you some questions to that before you don't start to cry again. When Woodside, they take 70% of BP in the coconut, the mango, and all the indigenous trees, what is known as fruit, trees known to Trinidad. What a Moko name all them fields are about there. And all they take it, on Woodside. And then all they give that same company the coca manatee license. Let me hear about all that money what I be going by. But I want to say nothing, Uncle Lennox. Here, I just take away your show, but I will go and make no pre-announcement before my Prime Minister. First, I love she. And here we're going on. All I will tell the PNM supporters are them, we want the police force now because enough killing. Because just imagine in Port of Spain, they can't even walk around in Port of Spain. Then when you see them doing crime all over the country, killing people, home invasion. Now they're saying that the police corrupt. But I want to ask them, when standing ground legislation is passed, how much African brother get killed by the Indian people who are gone by? I didn't know that people who kill one another, they look like, how I say that look. Because it look like the same brother, like look alike. Same ethnicity, look at appearance. So I didn't know. So they get license for gun to kill the one brother and sister. But you see, Penny, it just like our last year almanac girl. It reached our expiry date. The 31st of December reached. So you no longer have any date and time again. Try to run a party a little bit and tell me how you build Balize House. Okay, let's continue with your show. So let's do supersede my Prime Minister.
I hear you, my friend. Yes, of course, those of you who would like to invite others, well, of course, you can invite them to subscribe, to, of course, view, and to, of course, just give us a thumbs up, as the case may be. So that, should I say, video in front of me, that drop in front of me, is, of course, symbolizing that and giving you a reminder as to what to do on a nightly basis here on the Corridor Transformation. Let's go straight to the line. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the Corridor.
Yeah, let me say something again.
Go ahead, my friend.
Penny and Penniless said Trump, when he shake Kamala hand, he had to wash it. I wonder what she going to say now. He said, "Don't lieutenant to come down here to open this snail mail." You know what?
You know what simple as that? You know how PNM irking and aching right now? They simply don't know what to do. They are in a state of discombobulation. Yes, go ahead.
Right, and this is what somebody has to do. You know a lady named, what they call, she bought Delcy.
Yes.
Went to Barbados. So take out a picture with Delcy shaking Mia hand and juxtapose that with this fella shaking Kamala hand and putting the steel mill, the IB steel mill behind it. A shaken that delivers. Mia Motley and Delcy shaken is in the wind, blowing, as Alexander say, wind in a bag. Now, let me tell you the mistake PNM made and how they undersell Stuart Smallpin as a potential prime minister for Trinidad and Tobago. If they had used the father of the nation, you know the father of the nation, Eric.
Eric, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was a sweet man, right?
Right.
He had 3 wives. His second wife, he married his second wife, and the divorce was still happening. He had a civil warrant behind him to pay alimony for 250. So he married his second wife, who is Erica mother.
Yeah.
And I hope people know Erica was born in the USA, so she's a US citizen. So people have to understand. I'll come back to that now. Now, if you want to sell a Chinese, what you have to say, you have to put the strength how PNM like Chinese, right?
Right.
Eric William had 2 Chinese wives. So Chinese in the pedigree of the PNM. His second wife was the niece of Sir Solomon Ho Choi. Solomon Ho Choi was a Chinese. So they undersell Stuart Paulpin. They sell him as a Indian from Albiari Trace.
well, I would say that I think he claimed that, hoping that he will get some kind of political traction. That's what he did. Just as when he went, of course, to the Muslim function, zakat, and given the money and say, I hope you vote for me.
Right.
I mean, he's a total buffoon. If there is ever was one that disgraced the office of the Prime Minister. Go ahead.
No, but the Prime Minister went in the people's place and sleep.
Well, that was even worse. That was even worse.
Yeah, they disrespect people so much. They basically, I do know, they have swallowed all the line principles, even Limo. You understand?
Yes.
No. Let me get back to the thing. Let me talk about pension. Yeah. When Eric William died, you know, it's a pension plan that it goes towards your survivor.
Yeah, your survivors, yes.
When he died, who got his pension? Because all of this, we have been silent on that. Did Erica got his survivor's benefit? And was it sent to the US for her? Because Erica was living 10 years before Eric died. You know, that is one of the reasons he died by himself. She wasn't around. She was married up in the US because she was schooled in England and lived up in the US. So he was a lonely man.
Right.
And he basically, as they say, might have committed suicide, didn't take his medication.
Yes.
So he was a sweet man, he was a deadbeat father, and he never paid his animal for his children. That is why Alistair and Pamela, who ended up living in Barbados, never come to Trinidad to talk about him, because apparently he was vicious towards them.
Right.
And people don't know that. All right, let me give somebody else a chance again.
Yes, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Quite a lot of information is streaming at us. Really and truly, it's like darts. But of course, pleasant ones, benign ones, and not ones that are poison darts. But I really appreciate, of course, as I've keep saying, the intelligence of the callers and the saturation with the information that is crucial for all of us. But let's go straight to the line as well. Again, let's take up this one. A pleasant good night from the United States. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, Mr. Lennox.
Hey.
Good night. Good night
to you, my friend.
How is everything?
Yeah,
Mr. Lennox.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I see something going on there, man.
Yeah.
You know
all kinds of things happening now, man.
I see progress going on.
Yes, things are phonetic. Yes.
I see ribbon cutting. I say, what?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, double whammy, triple whammy, and you never can tell where, because last week we were talking about developments and all, Exxon and so on. Exxon, the steel mill potential operators that the only people who weren't there specifically was that of the oil refinery. But certainly, all the other players were there, bringing, of course, their investment with them. Go ahead.
You know, Lennox is steel mill. When is steel mill was built? You know, I work on that steel mill.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I work on the steel mill for a little while.
All right.
We used to supply them with some kind of stuff in it, with tankers.
Okay, very good.
You know
very good one. Yes.
And yeah, we used to back and salt water and all kind of stuff. We used to supply them.
All right.
When they now stopped, you find me at the steel mill. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. When they was building them. Yeah, I work on that, man.
Great.
Yeah. And they started it back again. Congratulations.
Yeah, man.
They need to start back again.
Things happening. Yes.
Next thing is the refinery.
Yeah. Next stop, refinery. And
next stop.
You observe what's happening here. Kobo. Remember at one time we were saying on a regular basis here on this program that it looked as though Kobo defecate, or as Andy would say, tutu on the PNM. Well, it looked now the opposite is the case now. Now the UNC is in office. It appears that God just is blessing and blessing and blessing the UNC and Kamala Prasad Bisesa.
You notice Kamala stay quiet. She don't.
Blessing after blessings, yes.
Apply for this nonsense that they're saying. She didn't apply for it. You leave them alone.
Yeah,
You don't stop them. You stay quiet.
yes.
You stay quiet and let them burn the gum.
Yes.
And they look stupid after.
I agree with you. All right, partners. See some other people trying to get in. Mr. Grandy, call back. Call back. I want to get you on the system. You know, your contribution is invaluable, meaning it's so valuable, you can't put a value to it. But I want to make a point this evening around 1 o'clock. I had a meeting with senior members of the HDC. And, of course, after over a year, I thought it was important to just have an update and to have a conversation looking at opportunities. And while on the one hand we see, of course, the potential for a lot of, let's say, financial inflows into Trinidad and Tobago. But let's go to the line. Pastor, good night. Welcome to the corridor. Welcome to the corridor.
Good night, Mr. Smith.
Good night to you, my friend.
How are you going?
Well, you know, as fair as could be in this circumstance, very optimistic, bubbling with enthusiasm, and raring to work to help in the process of saving Trinidad and Tobago and landing us in the arena of prosperity.
You hear me clear?
Loud and clear, loud and clear.
All right. Again, I have a problem with the phone here, but okay. Hear what I'm going to say tonight, Take a little time with me. I'm going to say something what mightn't sound as good, but I have to say it.
All right.
Since 1956, as we say, the PNM is a black people party.
Yes.
And they say we black people can't do business. That has since a smaller here in that. But I know the PNM closed down all sorts of things. The train, petrol train, copra, steel mill, you know, everything. Sugar.
Yes.
Right. And all these things. But you know what I find funny, Mr. Smith?
Go ahead.
All on a sudden, this black party come and build a mountainous building that they surpass the Syrian, they surpass the Indian, they surpass the Chinese, they surpass the Portuguese, the white man, everybody. And they say black people can't do business. How this black party all on a sudden surpass everybody and build such a building, and now everybody stop with their mouth open now wondering, but how this PNM could do this kind of business, boy? Within must be 5 years, and not even 10 years. Because you know what money they was owing when they said they come into power, over $5 million.
That's right, yes.
And all on a sudden, these black people, as I'm a black man, so me afraid to say it, they could surpass everybody who doing business, white, pink, gold, and they black people just come on top. I want you to explain that for me, Mr. Smith. How we black people who can run no party, run every black man to the ground, where we can survive under these people, and these people could build such a wonderful, mountainous building, so to speak. Just so, like a fall from the sky. This is what I have to say to that, Mr. Smith. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And of course, you clearly are in a state of, let's say, enigma. Is a mystery, clearly, because I mean, how come that is possible? But of course, on the other side, why is that is a fact that they have built this monstrosity. We know on the other side, as I said earlier, like Kobo tutu on them, Kobo defecate on them. Because when coming to running the country's business, they can't do it. But running the party business and their personal business, they could run it. And you're right, that should be evaluated. And I have one sentence that will describe the entire process. The PNM has morphed or metamorphosized into a criminal enterprise. Let me repeat. The PNM has morphed into or metamorphosized, changed into or evolved into a criminal enterprise. And that is what is accountable for that monstrosity that was constructed there. They did it on a personal basis. When you look at the amount of recusal in the cabinet of the country, and the Prime Minister himself saying it's no big thing, and he himself would have had several recusals. When we look at the whole question of the procurement legislation and the fact that cabinet would not be subjected to or is immune from any accountability as far as that is concerned, even though they claim that the procurement legislation was to address the whole question of accountability, transparency, money laundering, and of course people getting more than the fair share, or should I say fattening some of the contracts in order to skim off for the purposes of those individuals. But more significantly is that the multiple failures of the then government under Rowley is not only pellucid and demonstrable of the level of criminality that has saturated and has manifested itself in the operations of government by the PNM, that no one could be left with any illusion that the PNM has metamorphosized into a criminal enterprise. And the criminality continues in opposition, because they are not pretending that they are holier than thou. They're not pretending that they are immaculate, they are spotless, and can pronounce on others that they have targeted to be what? To be abusive of their office and to engage in nepotism, cronyism, and extreme political patronage. That is what the PNM has offered us in office and now out of office. And we have to recognize them for who they are, because that by itself is a criminal conduct, in my view, where you pretend that you are holier than thou and that you did not do the multiple and massive abuse of office, nepotism, cronyism that had characterized the PNM in government. Let's not waste time. That is what that is all about. That is what this is all about. And I want to make two points, because it's part of the criminal proclivity of the PNM. Gonzalez said sometime recently, PNM members and sympathizers, etc., whatever modicum of that they may have, or any residual of that, they may have. I don't think anybody studies them, including their sycophants. Even though you see them on the trolls, is probably one person working overtime, the adrenaline running. So one person per night might put up 50 or 60 or 100 views to make it look as though the people are anti the present administration. We understand all of that. So I am not going to be perturbed by that, because that's an exercise clearly in futility. But the important thing here is this, that the PNM in recent times is asking through Gonzalez, do not respond to any race baiting. Do not attack anybody on the basis of race. Suggesting somehow that is what the UNC want them to do. You see, last week, if you recall, both on the ground report and on this program, I said the first thing that the PNM ought to have done is distance themselves from the statements. Notice the semantics. Do not respond according to Gonzalez, but he has not yet said that they will distance themselves from the statement made by those individuals who made them. Understand that. Be very careful when you analyze these people and their semantics and their obfuscations. But let's go to the line. President, good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Good night, Lennox. How are you today?
I'm fine. And yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm calling from, where Madras Road, right?
Yes.
Lennox.
Yes. Welcome. Yes.
Thank you. Lennox, I think this idea of this MOU that's being presented with United States and Trinidad to the old, Arcelor, what is it? It's ArcelorMittal.
Mittal, yes, that would have been that would have been the iron and steel mill, yes. Mm-hmm.
In Point Lisas, yeah.
Point Lisas, yes.
I think this is an excellent move for Trinidad, and I say that because when the U.S. government is now investing that first, 50 million, they're gonna invest first 150, and then it's gonna go up to 500 million. What they're really doing is the first phase will be the refurbishing, and they will need help. And once that plant is up and running, we're going to need some really educated people to work in that plant. I'm not talking the laborers or the union workers, the guys who work, outside or doing labor jobs or even working in the factory itself. But I feel this entity will create high-level jobs where you're dealing with chemical engineers now, because the United States plan to take about 50% of the products produced in that Point Lisas plant and use it in the aerospace engineering program in America.
That's right.
That steel is now going into high tech, and we don't have an education system here to train our locals or to train them and give them the skill needed to transition into those high-level jobs. I mean, UTT has a great program. UE has a program, but nothing at that high level. I think now is the time for the government to really look at our education and training system as we prepare to transition now into becoming a developed country and a first country. You know what I mean by that, right? Like
with high-tech underpinnings.
Yeah, and I feel like also this will clean up our environment. When you have that steel plant going, now all of this junk that people have, all the iron and all these scrap iron in all the junkyards, from cars to all these scrap iron big buildings out there, all of that could be moved now and used in the recycling of the steel plant. And we could supply the whole Caribbean now. And it will put us at a competitive edge with China, because remember, China produces everything, even magnets. But having a steel plant here, we could diversify, and we could take magnets out of certain products and use that too as part of a recycling entity, another entity, because we throw everything in the dump, Everything goes into land use, and we need to clean this island up if we want to really move up socially and meet the changes that are coming with climate change. And our people need to stop being so critical and backward thinking. Got to think about how can we even come up with some other ideas of using energy to help our own country in a positive way. And I feel like we just everybody's kind of knocking the ideas. I mean, some of these things are dangerous, like the data AI plant is a risky move because we do have a problem with water supply. We have a country like America coming in here and working with us and really want us to be a partner. And I hope they don't exploit us. We have a chance to really rise up, and we've got to use that hook. You know, Trump is not going to be around forever, but we could use that hook in our government. Even if another government comes into office, hopefully not the PNM, but we could really move forward. But our education system is rotting. And, you know, we publish all these children names who pass exams, but nothing extraordinary comes out of it. I think now is the time for us to step up to the podium, reform our education system, change our constitution, and get rid of the savings clause so people know their rights, and then we move forward, empowering our people and doing something positive. This plant isn't going to bring thousands of jobs. We know that. It's not going to bring 5,000 jobs, that's for sure. But it'll bring hundreds of jobs. But we could build on that. It'll open the avenue for bringing small businesses in the area, help more villages collect scrap iron that you could actually sell to the recycling plant or give it to the recycling plant via transportation or whatever. But now is the time for us to coalition together and make positive changes, and we've got to be supportive. That's my comment for tonight, Lennox, because I've never heard of any, you know, all right, well.
Thank you very much, thank you very much. Only to say, of course, I think that there might have been a little, what I consider to be, let's say, lacuna, something that is missing in that analysis, because you have downstream in industries as well, and then you have transfer of technology also in the mix, because you wouldn't have a plant that high tech and the technology is not transferred to locals as well, apart from the fact that I'm sure that arrangements are being made for locals to be trained in the United States. So eventually we can of course benefit from the technology from our own indigenous, let's say, crop of scientists or technical people in that kind of industry, and export some of them as well ultimately, because our population is very finite in terms of numbers. But let's go to the line. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
A pleasant good night to you, Uncle Lennox.
Yes, man.
And all the listeners. Subscribe, like, and all it's free to share. Right? When all subscribe, all get the information. And when all like, all see Uncle Lennox. And when all share, God bless all you, and all see Uncle Lennox more. And all hear my voice. So Uncle Lennox, I interrupt you, but you see, Trinidad citizens, right? If they recall when the LNG plant was announced that they're going to bring a gas to liquid plant. Oh God, they'll blow up the whole appoint 14. Half of the PNM supporters will go, they will kill this one and they will kill that one. What does they want to do? Where we will get a place to put it? They want to put it in a place for moving. They want to put it in Dongi Kakas, but where they will put it? They say put it in Mayaro. Where put it here, put it there, right? But you know, the last caller, Ms. Madras, raised a nice point. I like it. So that's why I get to that there now. When we was announcing the plant for gas to liquid, we didn't have not one damn engineer in gas processing to put in the plant. It's Basdeo Pandey, the Honorable Prime Minister, started to open up the courses for gas processors, engineers. Is that different from that's like what the methanol, ethanol, and urea plants and them, right? And they start training people. This plant we have here, we have the technology, the expertise, But the aerodynamic, make no bones about it, it will be people from the United States of America, and the scientists will be here to blend the steel and the liquid material to get what they want to their standard. And if they listen to the news tonight, because 20 people listen news and the news don't bandit about. So if they listen to Uncle Lennox regular, they will hear that 50% capacity it don't sell already. And it's not an MOU and it's not an MA. It's a done deal. They start, and what I call to say, to let the people understand, I'm calling on Tenny, Penelope, Marvin, right? And Stuarty, not Stuarty, Stuart Young, the fellow from the Lal Bihari Trace, right? The one who does make kurma like dumpling. Because I don't know if he's an Indian or Chinese or what. I want him to come now and say, where they get any gas to put in Point Lisas, right? I want to ask him to come out and make him mischief now, boy. Because, Stuarty, I listen to you, say something?
No, I was just saying that is it mischief now, or that has tapered into wishful thinking? Because, I mean, everybody could see who have eyes to see. It's only who is pretending to be blind will not see that all the players and all of the stakeholders and all of the pieces are being put simultaneously in place to make sure the success and the synergy takes place. The plants depend on gas, but the gas is being taken care of by the upstreamers and the surveys that are taking place now. A major portion of it to come on stream by middle of next year. They're about a major part of it. And so all of those things are happening simultaneously. Maybe it's happening too fast or so fast that people can get their minds around the phonetic nature of the activities that are going to be taking place for the benefit of the population and the satisfaction of every single Trinbagonian. But go ahead, I thought I should make that intervention. Go ahead.
Yes, so what I'm getting at is that Stuart Young, just talk to the people and them who don't know the name of the Atobolan Stadium, who name after. That is the kind of people he just be talking to. Stuart Young and them. When they ask them who the Atobolan Stadium name after, they may know, right? Them is the kind of people. And I want to ask Stuart Young tonight, then boy, you make nutrient close up and try to drop the foreign exchange, right? But I only hope that the energy minister, the two of them, tell Nutrient now, pay the $28 million US for the Burton fee. And let we see now who hostage. Because here what's going on, Uncle Lennox. I want Stuart Young come out and say now where we get the gas. Because the Coca, Manatee, right? There is a proven reserve. The work, the infrastructure is almost complete. That is why a business man could come to Trinidad at the high level of government to government agreement and do our official opening and upgrading and putting the necessary plant, because that's the other that was keeping it up, keeping the plant going. So they're going to put in all their equipment they need to roll out their material.
Yeah,
so the gas supply is
of
what.
Of course, one would expect that they come with their investment capital, and they come with the technology and all of that. But the benefit to Trinidad and Tobago is that you're going to have transfer of technology. It's obvious. Some of our people will be either trained in-house, or they may have a special program for them. They may have to go to the United States because of the high-tech nature of the product that is supposed to come out and for the purpose for which it is designed. So all of those things obviously are part and parcel of the memorandum, and that is par for the course. So that is, I don't think any government will negotiate in a way, especially Trinidad and Tobago, that has the infrastructure below all of that in order to quickly manifest all of the intent that the memorandum and the deals that is expected to manifest. But go ahead.
Right. So they know that they have gas supply to run the plant.
That's
they
right.
have a stock. They have a guaranteed stock now. So Stuartion, I want to ask him where that gas would I go. I wonder where the monkey put the nuts. And I want to ask people now. All I remember in Camden, down in Vancouver, our esteemed political leader, when she was in power, the last wrongs gone, they had an aviation school and technical to build and repair and to do. You see how the spin-off would have come today? If the PNM didn't close it down. But the moral of the story tonight is that those people who signed that deal and gone in that plant, it have the gas supply to feed the plant. And the same way Stuart Young say that nutrient have gas and that a mud ball and cut back, and the other plants and then the suffering point, Lisa, look the gas there now. You see it earlier? The gas is right there all the time. So that kind of deal is not no shenanigans and no hoodwinking. That is real as it could be. Have a good night, Uncle Lennox.
Yes, it is. And I want to predict here now that nutrient, they will come back to the negotiating table. If only because of what has happened today. They will. Because they will want to appear to be insensitive to the fact that probably the third highest executive in the United States, the Deputy Secretary of State, came here and literally pushed open the doors or the gates of the steel mill to symbolize with a high degree of certainty that that plant will be resuscitated. And indeed, by extension, all of the other plans that are now, of course, couched in a document, which is, of course, a memorandum of understanding to be fleshed out into firm agreements for investment in Trinidad and Tobago in the energy sector. And I'm talking here about oil, gas, I'm talking about petrochemical, and I'm talking about steel. That is what today's exercise symbolizes. Without much fanfare, and I'm sure to the trepidation and fear and chagrin of the PNM, because they never expected that. So watch how they are now attempting to salvage and generate damage control. So Gonzalez goes and says, listen, do not engage PNM people in race baiting, and do not be lured, and still have the convenience, obnoxious as it is and insulting as it is to our intelligence, without saying that he and the party takes no part in that specific event that took place on Emancipation Day, without their saying that it means, therefore, it is PNM at its propagandic best. So they believe, as if we are fools and recipients of the nonsense, hogwash, and the diatribe that they spew on a daily basis. They have to say that they distance themselves from that. So long as they do that and asking people to desist, etc., we know that they are gaslighting and that they are insincere. But let's go to the line. President, good night. Welcome.
Good night to you, Lennox.
Hey, good night, boy. I sent the link to you. I say, well, I got your note. I got your note. You know, my father always say that a man that walked out there, his band is dead. So I understand. But we have we have some good news to convey to you after.
Yes, and good night to all the listeners and viewers of the Corridor Transformation. I like the numbers. I like all there. Make it consistent from Monday to Thursday with the numbers looking like that. It shows that you all are real UNC supporters because this is a real UNC program. But Lennox, with these energy development that we see in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, after the destruction of the energy shock sector under the People's National Movement. This development that we see now, that iron mill, that steel mill they're bringing back over there, that was dismantled under the People's National Movement, under Keith Rowley and Faris Alwari and them.
Yeah, early in the game.
And thousands of people went home. So to see something like that in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, which part the U.S. going to fund it and ensure accountability and transparency in the beginning of it, over 300 and something workers. And why is it going on? We will have thousands of workers. Why the PNM wouldn't want something like that? Why they wouldn't want that type of development? It have no opposition in the Western Hemisphere will condemn something like that after they destroy it. The citizens of this country should go down on their knees and thank God that we have a government today that's seeking the interests of the citizens of this country. With all that energy development that we see, and if that revitalization project that they're starting back with that country, because you have a construction boom. That is what the citizens of this country will be working prosperous again. So after all the destruction that the Keith Rowley administration created from 2015 to 2025, and we seen everything that them did dismantle that we will benefit from, we seen this government bringing back all those things on stream so that people will be working again. You know the PNM don't like that. For them find some kind of fault. Why they didn't find some fault when Akil Chambers get raped? How they didn't have a problem with that? How they didn't have a problem when 21 children get killed in the hospital? Why they didn't have a problem with those things? Now they're seeing development in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Themselves, the short dwarf who built a big high-rise building in Port of Spain and in build some kind of thing in him. He destroyed the country. He just saying, everything the government going to do, they're saying, where get any money from? We have no money. The country have no money. Well, all you see in development now, support it. Because those developments won't happen without money. And if we see the largest country in the world financing us, helping us, looking to develop our country after the destruction of the Keith Rowley administration, Penny Beckers and the PNM. And they're seeing progress now. Why would they not want to support something like that? Their agenda is to be betrayal, objective. That is the agenda of the People's National Movement. I thought all is supposed to be progressive, dominant in all the thinking, not callous thinking. Because that's all they're doing is just callous thinking. So we shouldn't be benefit anything under this collision of interest. Anything that the citizens of this country going to benefit from under the coalition of interest, the government that's in power now. The PLM don't want it. So we must be in destruction, mayhem, calamity, and confusion right through in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. PLM, we will ignore you all. And we will give the coalition of interest full 100 support. And remember, people outside there, like, share, and comment. You see that notification bell that come up on the screen there? Just touch that notification bell on your phone, and anything the corridor of transformation have, it will come up on your phone. Thank you.
Yeah, yes, indeed, yes, indeed. Why is my co-host was speaking? He's not in picture, but certainly you would see that he's a bit tired today, and of course one expects that because we are not paid to be here, and even if we were, our commitment would still be one of national service. But while he was speaking, it reminds me of a saying, not an idiom I would say, but a maxim. Yeah, a maxim. And it goes as, there is none as blind as he or she who refuses to see. That statement suggests that the person can see, but they prefer not to. They choose not to. There is none as blind as he or she who refuses to see. And I want to direct that particular maxim to the PNM. You see, because they are beginning to recognize that they would be out of office, in my view, in perpetuity, forever. It is my view that they are demonstrating the beginnings or the nascent stage or the embryonic stage of being relegated to the dustbin of political history in this country. And so what they have done, an attempt to soften their tone, but yet still not lucidly or clearly or transparently doing what is required, because they believe that when they do evil, it is the right thing to do, and sell that to the population as though it is the right thing. So notice, Gonzal was at pain. I could read out the statement that he would have made in some press conference. He's the chairman of the PNM, and telling the supporters, somehow believing that they are going to stick like glue to the PNM, when he tells them, take the moral high ground. Don't respond to anybody calling anybody coolie or nigger or African, depending on the circumstance. That is what he has done. And we have identified what he ought to have done first and foremost, is to say on Emancipation Day, that critical day that the African community reveres and ought to revere, having regard to what transpired during colonial times and what happened to our ancestors that caused us to be here in this blessed land. First thing he should say, at minimum, that the PNM condemns and or distance itself from what that woman and others have said, both downtown Port of Spain, opposite the central bank, when they had their initial official, let's say, speeches, and the Minister of Culture was booed and insulted, and the intention was to disrupt her presentation, and what transpired up at the Savannah. I want to say too, and it's only because they can claim neutrality why the Emancipation Support Committee came out and say, listen, we condemn One, we don't, in other words, condone. That ought not to have happened, but very careful to say that they are apolitical, meaning that they are neutral. They have no political agenda because it is convenient for them. Convenient for them to take that middle line in order to appease both sides. In order to appease the political, what I consider to be antagonists. Understand that? But the PNM cannot escape until they make a clear statement that they condemn and they do not condone what specifically occurred on Emancipation Day by certain elements who are not dissimilar, let me repeat, who are not dissimilar to that of the mob up at Calypso Fiesta when it comes around in San Fernando around Carnival time. Not dissimilar. In other words, it is similar to the mob that boo people, that express their disgust along political lines, clear political lines, when Calypso Fiesta is held at the park in San Fernando. Similar classification or characteristics. So let us not waste time. So, and the PNM never condemn there. They say that people must freely express themselves because it is in their favor. As soon as a song is not in their favor, I remember very distinctly, like when they sang about Rowley Mother Count. Rowley Mother Count, they were up in arms. But if it was somebody in the opposition, Mother Count, the song was about, they would remain silent. Well, to me, silence is consent. Silence is consent. Let us not waste time. And when they do have the specific responsibility and conscience to make a statement, we saw where it is more of a half-picked duck, 1 and 2, they would have been plodded so to do because their political fortunes would have been weighing in the balance. We saw it at the Mandela Park when they had nothing to say, when Kamala Prasad Bisesa was portrayed as a drunkard in a March Pass or in March Pass. And we saw, of course, where they were forced to make an intervention and a response when up at Edinburgh 500, that Hindu goddess was being disrobed by some dark, strong-looking, with mask complete, gorillas, humiliating a Hindu god. It's only when they realize that the political fortunes would have been in question, they came out and make a statement that they're not on that. And there is more. But let's go to the line. President, good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Yeah, good night, Doc.
Yes, man.
Good night. Good night. Yeah. What I want to change the topic a little bit.
No problem.
Bitumen, which makes the asphalt for the road to be paved.
Yes.
I understand that is a product of the oil field.
Of the what?
Of the Petrotrin. That comes from Petrotrin.
Yes, of the oil refinery. Yes, it is. Yes.
Right. Nice. Right. But so when they closed down the refinery, imagine you could have seen that something was wrong because all the roads began to get bad, and then you're hearing how bitumen get expensive.
Yes.
because they couldn't buy it.
In fact, that is still so. I'm seeing roads sparsely being repaired. Like if they jump in from here to there, they fix this pothole, they fix the other, but in terms of a smooth surface, you get these. If the road surface was an edge, you'll get a jagged drive. But go ahead.
Yeah, well, what they using? I see up by they're using oil sand because they can't afford to, and the potholes are them getting so big, so they're taking the oil sand now, and they're filling the. At least they're trying to do something because remember they closed down the refinery, and that's where the expensive product come from.
Yes, that's right. Yes.
The bitumen.
Yes, to keep
right.
The
so they can't afford to buy, so they're using a substitute oil sand, and never mind it remain a little bumpy and thing, but at least that you're not dropping in the pothole to mash up your front end and all that and bust your tire.
That's right. Yes, yes. So
right. So I'll go back a little. Right. So I'll go back a little bit. In the olden days, the men used to come. They used to drop the pitch. I don't know if you know that. And they have a long thing and with a flat side, and they would beat the pitch and then they will use tar. They spread the tar and then they put the broke up pitch where they beat on the road, and they will continue to pave. And then after that they stop using tar because they say it's real messy. They start to use that thing they call road oil.
Okay.
Road oil. And then, using that now, and then I see, they come with this mixture because they were still beating the pitch and using the little road oil and thing. But then after, which was much more thinner than the tar was a thick business.
Yes, okay.
And this road oil was a little more, on the thinner side, and then they improve now and they come with the bitumen and the asphalt and they mix in with gravel and sand and all that, and that is where we are today. But this is what the last administration shut down. That's why the roads are get so bad. They have gotten so bad because we can't afford to buy the bitumen.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because I want to add to your observation. Because when Dr. Rory was approached with that particular matter about potholes, because by that time they were being called the pothole government as opposed to a slipper drain government that preceded them in the form of UNC and under Kamala Prasad Biswas. So then he turned and said they were too busy saving us from COVID, so they had to sacrifice the treating of potholes and the further deterioration of the roadway by additional potholes, because every rainy season for the last 9 years, between the rain, the heat, and of course the inundations, you're going to get a deepening of these potholes. And he had the audacity to say that somehow he believes he will get political mileage by that, by saying that they were busy saving Trinidad and Tobago from COVID, that they couldn't focus on potholes. And I was wondering, I'm sure many of you wondering, what save us? But go ahead.
Yeah, you see, they closed down the place that where the bitumen would come from to make the asphalt. And he didn't want to say that because he didn't want the people to understand this is why the roads are getting bad. Because I'll tell you something, Doc, there are big people in this country don't know that bitumen came from the oil refinery. Well, I was talking to somebody and they tell me they didn't know that.
Well, I'm sure that a lot of big people are listening now and they know now. They don't know.
Yeah, so big people, I was shocked.
Bitumen comes from, of course, the oil refining process. All right?
Yes. Yeah, so I said, there's a little history on how the roads and how they used to patch them and how we reach right up on the ladder and then boom shot, they lick him down. They lick it down.
And yes, it's unfortunate as I have been, as the common thread of my presentation tonight is that the PNM evolved, morphed, metamorphosized into a criminal enterprise. Because even the shutting down of the oil refinery was a criminal enterprise exercise a criminal enterprise exercise. Triggered by what? All you know, the fake oil. And to save one man, the entire cabinet, the entire government was prepared to throw the entire country under the bus. Potholes galore notwithstanding, in order to save a fellow Rowley called a friend and himself from being politically, what I consider to be amputated or politically executed or politically divorced earlier than he would have anticipated. Because I'm going to tell you this as well. I don't think that he wanted to leave government in the way that he did. Rowley, he had no choice because he saw the writing on the wall. And imagine having Rowley retain and contested the 28th of April last year's elections, and he was made to sit in the parliament representing Diego Martin West. Oh, what a tragedy for him, and oh, what a joy for us to have the opportunity to mock him and to ridicule him, because that is what he did when he was in office, and manipulated and undermined every single independent institution that was designed for checks and balances in the system. And the UNC Coalition of Interest now have the arduous task, the should I say the unique task of having to resolve that. Let's go to the line. A pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor. Pleasant good night. Welcome to the corridor.
Good night to the Trinidad and Tobago. Good night to the corridor of transformation.
Yes, man.
I want to say a good night. Yes, sir. A special good night to the rocket, the movement, Lavantil enrichment, outreach for vertical enrichment. I want to say good night to all those members, because without you all, my brother, the political leader of love, the rocket, would not be here. And we always say good night to each and everyone. Good night to the Honorable Prime Minister, because she's also the political leader of the coalition. And her party, the UNC, United National Congress, and the other coalition, I want to recognize them also there, because some of them this year, we see Pep there, Pep inside. We still want to know where my brother will be on stream, but God have something special for you, my brother. Your time is coming. Your time is now. Your time is here, of the people, by the people, for the people. And Lennox, when you come inside, performance will start to take off, because it have plenty work to take on, my brother. Plenty work. And just imagine a couple thousands people, your members from down that Lavantil area around there, yes, in full support of you. You never know if you is the incoming MP for your area, because people gravitating now, People gravitating, people want leaders who just listen, and Lennox, you, Amanda's listen. Without bringing these serious topics to the corridor of transformation, I see things that for years that just there, and we talk about certain issues where we call on the chairman of the Port of Spain, the mayor, a matter of fact, for the Port of Spain area, and we bring up certain issues, and we see that it addressed in the corridor of transformation, right? And I had to say, somebody listening, not only there, because we're in the government too, when somebody when they listen, they hear the or the playbacks, they're seeing that the good things. I want to say, we did bring up this issue by the Grand Bazaar area there.
Yes.
It had hundreds of trailer truck. The trailer just pack up underneath there. And recently, we see them move all right? I think that was last month, sometime last month. They moved all. I think they're bringing a police post there. We fully support that police post because you know that area is a beautiful area. It is a rich community, and it also have a lot of crime in that community because people coming down from the east-west corridor and that area there. I want to say also for the work not to stop. We actually turn up on a Piaco Regional Corporation, all those derelict vehicles, you park up on the both side of Grand Bazaar. That is unacceptable, man. People can't even walk in the pavement. The people have bumpers, car bumpers and engine park up on the street. This is not right. Somebody had to be held accountable for that. It had too much of vehicles park up there. And sometimes you've seen fire burning up on rubbish there. That's in front of a mall. You can't do that there. There are residents living there. So the records have to come and clean up that whole interior. You know, it's part in front too. Maloney traffic light on the left-hand side. When you're going into Best Street and Ramco Industry there, you can't go in place. The both side have vehicles, real vehicles, and there's crashed vehicles there. The common persons have to be, the chairman had to send the warden and them there to give them ticket and clean up the area, man. This is not right. You can't do that, man. This is a serious thing. People paying the paying to use the road. We just pay insurance, you know, Lennox. We have to pay insurance.
Yes, man.
Yes, these are serious things, and persons must be. Not these tickets, these fines, and them is too like playing dolly house. These fines are too small. These is modern times we live in. We have to bring fines where people will respect the law and they wouldn't do it. If you have a fine for $300 and $400, man, them don't care. Them go pay that and go do the same thing. When they get good fines at from $20,000, $30,000, they will take 10 times before they act in that foolish manner. Right? We must restore law and order in this country. For years, government go, government come, and nothing has taken place. We want to bring this law, this blessed nation, as where it was in the around in the 60s, early 70s. Trinidad and Tobago is recognized as a paradise, boy, Lennox. When people come here and say, we love here, they don't want to go back. People in the airport crying. Lennox, people full love Trinidad and Tobago, boy. Here is the paradise of the world, boy. When they hear them foreigners and them talk that we could bring back this blessed nation at this time, we could see all our refineries, all our resources flourishing again in this nation. We could even be bigger than Dubai as we speak.
Yes.
Because we have every single thing in this country. This is why we say all hand on deck. And without you have a vehicle moving with 3 wheels, how far you go take care? Oh gosh, man, we need the vehicles with 4 wheels. This is why we asking for our political leader of love the rocket to be on board. And then I tell you, it will be smooth runnings. That rocket, my brother, when you see it, that rocket launch is for every creed and race will find an equal place. May God bless our nation. Good night, my brother.
Boy, for a moment there, I felt I was at a political platform in a political meeting. But thanks for the endorsement and the confidence that you would have expressed in your presentation tonight. Let me tell you, it is well noted, and certainly I'm sure that there are those who are giving it serious consideration simply because it is the right thing to do. So let us not waste time with that. I'm going to tell you before I leave experience I had today. I wasn't able to complete that earlier. But a pleasant good night to welcome.
Good night.
Good night, my friend.
Yeah, this is San Fernando.
Yes, San Fernando.
You know, a lot of, good night to everybody. Well, right now, a lot of shockers were taking place over Trinidad and Tobago as to what the PNM has done to this country.
Yes.
Right? Just for the last call, they're talking about the bitumen and stuff that was produced by Petrochin.
Yes.
And right now, Petrochin is dead because of the last regime's closing down of the company, using the fake oil matter to really shut it down.
Yes.
Right? But a lot of, just after the emancipation, I went up. That was the first was the Saturday, which was the culmination of the emancipation village.
Mm-hmm.
And after the 1st and the 2nd of August, the Sunday, I went up to the refinery to a function in the refinery, which was kept by the San Fernando West MP.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, and we were really, really shocked as to the kind of thing that went on in Point of Care. Gartara Park is totally shut down, and then when you look at the thing with the Malcolm Jones plant, it was a total mess. You can see that. So and a lot of people, even though when I came out of Point of Care during the weekend, when you talk to people, it's like some people are saying PNM is great. They're still saying it. But when you hit back and let them know, well, what went on? Nah, they will argue with you. Yeah, they will argue with you and say that.
Yeah, all of us has that duty and responsibility to decondition the people who are set in their ways because of ideological and other, what I consider to be social intervention initiative. Because remember, PNM is an institution, and they're going to coin their toxic verbal diatribe, package it in such a way that those persons who might have benefited at some point in time in the past feel that they owe allegiance to it, and the PNM and the leadership will exploit it. And that is what is happening now. So they would see that the PNM cannot assist them. The PNM that is no more, especially in their time, and therefore they must now come to realization that they have a duty to get rid of that entity permanently. But go ahead.
Yeah, but how do you transform that? Because on a day-to-day basis, right, we live in Trinidad. I mean, I doing a lot of traveling from San Fernando to Port of Spain, and on a daily basis, sometimes when you get on a bus and you listen to one or two individuals, you have to shut your mouth sometimes because even today, I came up to Port of Spain. You know that, right?
Yes.
To transact business, and it's like on the bus.
Yeah.
One guy was just
venting,
sprouting. Yeah, sprouting. PNM is great. The reason why he's saying PNM is great is because there was no the parade. I think the August parade that's supposed to be coming up. Of the
the Independence Parade will be changed to the northern side and closer to the president's house, and they're making preparations for that.
Yeah. So he was saying that this present government is not patriotic, and he carried on the bus. And at the end of the conversation, he says that he's a PNM and he will die a PNM.
Yeah, but you know. He will be talking there and don't know that the parade will be going on, and the arrangements are being put in place. But the PNM leadership will stop or will coin or fashion or generate the semantics in such a way to make him believe that no parade is going to happen until it happens. And when it happens, they're going to say, look, they changed it from the grandstand to this other place, and that is something that, as far as the PNM is concerned, is cast in stone and mustn't be moved. I say hogwash. But what he would realize is that parade did take place. But go ahead.
Yeah. But so you see, and sometimes it leaves you kind of not, I wouldn't say frustrated, but wondering how do you coin logic? How do you twist logic to to suit reality? How do you
But let me tell you this.
You know?
Let me tell you this, because I mean, we have been talking from time immemorial. We have been talking since 2015, come back, and before that, about, of course, warning people about the PNM. The fact is that when all I do to people like that, I tell, well, tell me what happened in Tobago now, and they hush them out one time, because there is nothing for the PNM in Tobago, and in Trinidad have similar people to Tobago like you, and it's just a matter of time before you two go that route. But I want to tell you this as well, that I had an experience, I think in 2007, I believe it was, 2007, before the NAR came into office. I had an engineering friend. He was in fact an electrical inspector with the inspectorate, with electrical inspectorate, living at Trin City, so living a fairly middle class to upper class life. And so I went by him sometime, and we were discussing the politics. Of course, I have always been very skeptical and very concerned about the PNM and its manipulative and sort of dominance only to satisfy a few, and they exploit the masses, especially Africans. But anyhow, I went to him. He's a kind of semi-Douglas artist. He's more 60 Douglas and 40 African. Anyhow, living a nice life. So we went to talking, and I told him, listen, in arguing against the PNM, it appears that I was getting to him because I told him of all the misdeeds that the PNM would have done, and of course plunge us into this economic quagmire where we have to look at IMF pretty soon. But the election didn't come as yet. You know what you're trying to tell me? That man is supposed to be an intelligent man. So obviously, from what I've said, he's supposed to be academically, let's say, satisfactory in terms of his academic reasoning, right? I know he tell me. He said, look, they put the dragon on the Red House. A big man tell me that. I walk out the house one time and gone my way.
Yeah, well, that is why I asked, how do you transform logic? Because okay, let me just bring this point.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last week I have talked to you about the Harris Promenade issue with the Marcus Garvey statue, right?
Yes.
But you know, there's a reason for me even bringing up that topic, because listen to this, right? Those pictures that I sent here, when you look at the pictures, that is just the statue alone. But what is surprising, opposite the statue, there's a school. That is boys' school, right?
Okay.
With that too is a church, right? Now, when you go further down, right, and you reach the bandstand, right, vagrants are also living in the bandstand, right? And opposite the bandstand is City Hall.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. I could spatially identify where both are here. If you're facing north, it means therefore the City Hall, the entrance is just almost obliquely opposite. You just across the road and enter the hall one time. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, but why I'm saying it is surprising, right, is that in the back of the bandstand is the police station.
Yeah,
now,
that's right. Yeah, on the
also,
side.
Right. Also, to the back of the Marcus Garvey statue, you have another school, which is the convent. You have two schools. Right. The convent and I think it's a primary school right there.
Okay.
No, I am saying, right, this thing is ridiculous, especially with the church. You have a prominent street or a prominent area like Harris Prom. All that mess where the vagrants is messing, they're putting a stool there, they're living there, and it's looking ridiculous. And not one of these institutions, the church especially, is kicking against that.
Yeah.
Neither the City Hall, Hall is encouraging that.
Well, you have to be commended. You have to be commended highlighting it, and I'm sure that they are listening, and they are going to prick their conscience, I'm sure, and let's hope that some remedial action takes place. All right.
So so this is what I'm saying. I can't see the PNM coming back. I can't see that because of that one major issue.
Yeah. So so don't bother with the 1 and 2s that are pretending to be the arrogating unto themselves that they are the majority because they are prepared to be vociferous. Well, that incident on Emancipation Day demonstrates that as well. The majority of the people were very attentive and decent and responsive. All right, thanks.
Yeah, all right, okay, all right, yes.
Yeah. People, of course, we have come to the end of tonight's program. I just wanted to conclude that I had a meeting with senior people in the Ministry of Housing today, and I want to tell you that all they are talking, boy, is about the amount of money that they have to find. They have the overdraft that agency has. That was mind-boggling for me. They overdraft. They take more. Overdraft is more money that you have there that the bank will allow you to use. Well, they take more money than the overdraft as well. So they overdraft. And then all of the outstanding contractors that had to be paid. And then you have, of course, things like what I consider to be constant or recurring work that they did not go through the procurement regulations when it came on board, because some of it would have been before the procurement, others after the procurement. I don't know if the procurement legislation is retroactive, but certainly that too they had to pay. They had to pay, of course, they inherited 1,400, I believe, 400 laborers. So what they are doing now is using those 14, deploying them to cut the grass and so on, and to do what subcontractors or small contractors would have been doing, because the government has decided not to give additional money. So the HGC and others have to find ways and means of working with what they have and still meeting statutory and other what I consider to be imperative or compulsory financial commitments, whether it be to suppliers, whether it be to contractors, whether it be to their laborers, whether it be outstanding bills that they had inherited and left by the PNM, or dealing with the overdraft itself. So they are in I wouldn't even say a sticky wicket. So I had to compromise today, because I went there cap in hand saying, well, listen, I have people who have not gotten a job since the government came into office. But when I saw the documentation, because it was laid out to me, I suppose the respect is given because I'm a member of the coalition, and the authorities there felt that they had to be upfront with me. I had no choice. And then, of course, I spoke subsequently to the acting president, with Mark, and told him of my experience. And he said he will send me additional information, additional documentation to show what the present government has inherited. But, however, my job is to show as well where there is optimism and hope. And therefore, this is where we are at. And my job is to show both sides of the coin, so to speak, but at the same time demonstrate that not too long from now, certainly things are going to be resolved, because they are being resolved rapidly, as we saw with the visit today of that particular Deputy Secretary of State to the United States. Let's go straight. Let me just end with this, and then of course we'll go to a piece of music. And don't forget, of course, that tomorrow morning the ground report and Not Andy. Andy is a bit under the weather still, but
Caribbean island most people only know for carnival and steel pan music. $21.7 billion in a country whose entire $21.7 billion. That is what ExxonMobil is now prepared to spend chasing oil off the coast of a Caribbean island most people only know for carnival and steel pan music. $21.7 billion in a country whose entire economy is worth roughly $28 billion. Think about that ratio for a second. This is not a company dipping a toe into a small market. This is the most successful deep water operator on the planet, placing a bet that is nearly the size of Trinidad and Tobago's entire national output on a stretch of ocean floor nobody has ever drilled before. And it is not just Exxon. In the space of 18 months, a Houston company has hit oil where geologists swore only gas would ever be found. A British supermajor has flipped the switch on a brand new offshore platform.
So people, of course, be optimistic. In the fullness of time, before we would have passed on, but there are generations to come, before Kamala Prasad Bisasa and her team would have passed on. And therefore we must leave a more prosperous, a much more peaceful, a much more crime-free, a much more economically viable, a great place to live in, called Trinidad and Tobago. That is the dream. So I leave you with, of course, the optimism, and to say too that even with our music, we should be able to capitalize upon, because the music is getting sweeter and sweeter. And I love this tune that was, of course, created this year. Baxton, I think her name is, but whatever the name is, the music's sweet. And therefore we should be very, very grateful to have these artists among us, propelling Trinidad and Tobago outside of gas, outside of oil, outside of petrochemical, but going into tourism and, of course, what is called the performing as well as the visual arts. But in this case, is the performing arts. Listen to this. So have a wonderful rest of the night. God bless and bye-bye. See you tomorrow morning on the Ground Report. Snipes and myself from 6 to 9 on Talk City 91.1. Bye-bye.